Welcome, Artur, to the John Clarence Gomez Show.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice
Welcome
meeting you, and
to
thanks
the
for having
John
me.
Clarence Gomez Show. Artur, what is the life of an expat in Singapore?
I think, like in tree, it is what you make of it. So everyone has their own interests and habits. But I think overall, Singapore is a great place for expats. It's very international, very multicultural. There are a lot of things. If you want to do sports, there are a lot of sports to do. Crazy clubbing, you can do crazy clubbing. There are a lot of parks. So basically, anything you want.
Do you know Internation, the social media for expats? Internation.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I have never been to any events, but I know that they are quite active here.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
What? Uh, let me tell let me tell you about little things about Russia. Let me tell you
What do you want
about
to know?
little things about Russia. What is the difference of Russian and Ukrainian?
I mean, we both countries were part of the Soviet Union, so we
Yes,
have a lot of
Russian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian.
yes. So there were a lot of countries that were part of Soviet Union, but now we are basically independent.
Yes.
So I
After
think
1989 revolution, after 1991.
yes. So I guess one of the things that maybe not everyone knows that Ukrainians
Yes.
have two languages. They have their own Ukrainian language,
Yes.
but they also speak Russian.
Yes, Russian in the eastern part of Ukraine.
Yeah.
But in the western
So
part
I
is
guess
so very Ukrainian and some Polish and some Hungarian and Slovakian in the western Ukraine.
mm-hmm.
Let me
Yeah.
tell about the flag of Russia and there are many flags that similar to the flag of Russia. When you visit countries like Slovenia and Slovakia, when you see the flag of the two countries of Slovenia and Slovakia, you will think that you are in Russia because their flag is very similar to Russia. The flag of Slovakia and Slovenia.
Yeah, it is true. I think there were actually some incidents during some
Because they
big
are both
sport.
Slavs. Slavic.
Yeah, sometimes some issues happens. So during some sports events, I think there were a couple of cases where the organizers put the flag, or they brought another country's flag instead of Russian flag. So if you Google, you can find certain stories
But the
about that.
flag but the flag of Slovenia and Slovakia has some design. The flag of Slovenia has a mountain. The flag of Slovakia has a double cross. But the flag of Russia has no design. Only white, blue, and red. Three-color flag in Russia.
Well, you see, you're well educated about the differences about the flags, but
Yes,
I'm not sure that
I'm very
everyone
well
know all the.
educated. Did you know that the flag of Belarus has been changed under Lukashenko? The old flag of Belarus is white and red. The flag of Belarus, but Lukashenko changed the flag and revived the old Soviet flag in Belarus.
Yeah, he has a lot of power there, so yeah,
But
he can do a lot of things.
the last dictator of Europe, Lukashenko has been called the last many Western media says that he was the last dictator in Europe. What is what is a jobs of many expat in Singapore?
Uh, I think a lot of expats work in finance sector. That's quite a big big industry in Singapore. It's also a big logistical hub. So a lot of people are employed in shipping.
Yes,
Um,
shipping. Singapore is a city-state island. There are many ships in Singapore.
yeah, yeah. And I think also Singapore is investing a lot in technologies and innovations. So I think the tech sector is quite big, and there are a lot of R&D facilities. So they're trying to implement a lot of smart city technologies. So I think that's quite a big growing sector.
There are many Russians in Singapore because in Singapore there are some Russians who work in entertainment.
I think there are about maybe 3 to 5 thousand Russians. But I would say that entertainment is probably not the most popular
Yes.
field, because usually when I meet Russians and they ask which industry I'm working in, they usually try to guess: is it finance, is it IT, is it shipping, or is it oil and gas?
Yes.
So I think these are four things where most Russians work in.
But when you visit China, in many theme parks in China, did you know that many theme parks in China has many Russian entertainers? When you visit many theme park in China, they're dancing, they're singing in many theme parks in China. They hire Russian performer than Chinese.
Yeah. I mean, when I lived in China, there were quite a few Russian dancers and singers, even in nightclubs.
Yes, in
So I
many
and I
theme
think
parks.
in general, Chinese like a lot of East European looks. So a lot of Russian.
Not only Russian but also
women.
Ukrainian and Belarusians.
Yes. That's yeah. In general, East Europeans, I think they get a lot of model
Yes,
gigs.
model and performers in them park.
Yeah.
They love to hire Russian because Russian, Belarusian, and Ukrainians are white and they are very perfect to their theme parks because many Chinese people loves to see a blonde hair, beautiful people.
Yeah. So
What
they,
is
they
the what is the difference of living in Singapore and China? Because they are both Chinese speaking countries with English.
Yeah, but I think the difference is quite big, because Singaporean Chinese people are quite different. Besides Chinese, Singapore has also English, Malay, and Tamil. So they have
Singapore
four
is Singapore
languages.
is a democratic country, but China has an authoritarian one party under the communist rule.
Yeah, that's one of the big differences. I think just in general, I think China is much more chaotic in day-to-day life. I think Singapore is much more structured and organized.
Yes. And the passport of China is very small, powerful, but the Singaporean passport has the most number one passport in the world. Many Singaporeans can travel around the world without applying a tourist visa.
Yeah, Singapore passport is quite influential.
But many people say that Russian passports and Belarusian passports are the worst passports in Europe. What do you say about that? The Russian and Belarusian passports. Many people say that the two passports is the worst in Europe. Why many countries require a visa for a Russian, but many Europeans can visit many countries without a visa? Why many people in the first world require Russian to apply a tourist visa before visit their countries? What is the reason for this Western nation?
That's a question I'm asking myself every time I have to travel.
Yes, because of the many sanctions against Russia in the West. They restricted many Russian visitors to visit their countries.
I think the immigration legislation was arranged even before the latest sanctions. I
Yes.
think for Russians it's been always quite a challenge to travel overseas. We always had to have a lot of visas almost everywhere.
But Ukrainians are now lucky today because Ukrainians can now visit many countries without a visa. Ukrainians are given privilege by many Western countries to visit their countries without a visa. Ukrainians are now more lucky than Russians.
Well, good for them.
Yes, because Ukraine is want to join EU and NATO. This is the reason why their country want to join.
Well, wish them good luck. I hope all their dreams will be fulfilled.
Yes. What is the job of an animator? Animation.
You mean in general?
Yes, general animation.
Well, I think in general, animators are creative professionals who are bringing images to life by animating them. That's actually the meaning of it. So, it can come up with very simple forms, very short forms, and all the way to animated feature films like Toy Story and all the other beautiful Pixar productions and other productions. But they are obviously just part of the team effort. A lot of people work on those animations, so it's a big creative project.
Yes. It's a very hard to be an animator. What is being a comedian in Singapore in because you're a Russian? I saw your video. You are very funny comedian. What is the
Thank you very
salary?
much.
What is the salary of a comedian in Singapore?
I think comedian, as a lot of entertainers, is one of these professions where you don't really have a regular paycheck. So you have to accept that it's pretty much an entrepreneurial journey where one month you're not making anything and other months you might have a bit more money. I'm not doing comedy full time, so well, I guess I might not be the best indicator of success or not. But there are very few stand-up comedians and who are doing it full time in Singapore. And as you can imagine, Singapore is a very expensive city to live in. So a lot of guys, they combine stand-up with acting, with writing, with hosting, etc. But average payments, I guess, can range from $0 per month to I guess, I don't know, 5, 6, 7,000, depending on how much you hustle, how good you are, and how many shows you can book. But of course, the most money is in the corporate sector. Just small club gigs usually don't pay more than a few $100s per show, the headliner level. But the corporate shows, this is where the biggest paychecks are. And again, it depends on your qualifications, experience, etc.
Do you know that there are many Filipinos like me in Singapore, like Orion and John Cancio?
Yeah, I know some of them, and usually they're very cheerful and happy people.
Yes.
That's why I find Filipinos, in my opinion, in Southeast Asia, are one of the most friendly people.
Yes. Do you meet John Cancio in personal and Orion Perez?
We performed quite a few times with Orion, so he's a great talent, and he's very good with a lot of accents. That's kind of his shtick. I met John once at some improv comedy show, so Yeah, I've met them in person, but I guess I've been lucky to perform with Orion
Yes.
more times.
Orion. Orion is a genius person. He can speak many language. For me, he is a polyglot. He can speak Spanish. He can speak French, Portuguese. He is a genius person. Orion is a genius.
Yeah, he's a very talented guy. Yeah.
Did you know Nathan Artono?
Uh,
Nathan Artono, the Indonesian singer in Singapore. I loved him.
not sure.
Not sure. So our interview is only 20 minutes. So let's ask a question. This is a very game. Sorry, this is not a question game, but this is a very questions with a music game. Question music game. Can you sing a Russian song? I know there are many Russian song. Do you know the song Ismuglianka, yung tenenenen 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 tenenenen. Do you know that song?
Yeah, it's one of the classic folklore songs. I think usually a lot of Russians will sing it during some maybe birthdays or New Year parties where it's been a long night where everyone has been drinking, and at a certain point someone will want to actually sing, and that could be one of the go-to songs because almost everyone knows it. But yeah, it's quite a popular option.
Yes. Do you know this Russian song? I will sing this song in Will You Believe to Me? Я люблю тебя. Do you know that song? Я люблю тебя. I love you life in English. Yung tenenen tenenen ten tenen ten tenen ten tenen ten.
Oh yes, yes.
Tenenen tenenen ten tenen.
You have a lot of
Russian song, yes.
yeah.
Like Katyusha. Tenenen, tenen, tenenenen, tenenen, tenenenen. Imaju na bili Katyusha. Ya lubo, tipeli na tubo.
Wow, bravo. Actually, that's one of the other things that I noticed, that a lot of Filipinos are very talented singers.
Yes.
And I sometimes joke that I've never met a Filipino in my life who can't sing. It seems that you're one of the most talented nations.
Yes, there are many Filipino performers in cruise ship, in Disneylands. Yes, they are very talented. We are very talented. Did you know that?
Same in Singapore.
Yes, in Universal Studios. Did you know what my grade in school? My grade in school today is 92. I have an average 92% of grade. I'm a top honor in my school.
That's great. Good job. Keep doing that.
Yes. So this is the last question. Do you know that the old anthem of Russia? Ten 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 ten. This anthem was used under Yeltsin presidency. Do you know that song?
Is it like the Empire? The Empire.
Patriotenska Pesnya. The old anthem of Russia before Putin. After independence of Russia in 1991. That's an old anthem.
Okay.
Thank you for guesting my show. And
Thank you very much, John.
Good luck and good night. Thank you and goodbye.
Good night.
Yes, thank you. Bye.